So the big question is this: how these entrepreneurs who started from scratch and had no idea how to sell or market their products or services online and then later on made over 6 figures, 7 figures or even 8 figures became best in their niches and found their dream customers to sell. My name is RJ Ahmed and find this all out in our Interviews with Entrepreneurs show. I interviewed these entrepreneurs and tried to pick their brain of how they actually did that and how they took their business as well as their life to the next level. This podcast is all about the entrepreneurs who strive so hard to become super awesome in their niches. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs show, where we interview entrepreneurs who are super awesome in their niches. And today's guest is all about one of the favorite topics that I have, and I love to talk about it, which is like kind of softwares. And our guest today is kind of like all around softwares. If you ever been in the space, especially using Facebook as your marketing sites as well, you probably use like FriendFilter to remove your friends out there that are not like kind of your target audience or engaging with your profile or your post as well. So he's the creator of FriendFilter software as well, and he loves build softwares, helping people out with that aspect as well. And I would love to talk about it even more. So please welcome Matt Ganzak. Hey
Thank
Matt,
you.
thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you. I really like your intro. You did a really good job putting that together.
Thank you so much, man. But yeah, like truly appreciate it. So the people who are gonna jump on live, use hashtag live. The people who are gonna jump on replay, use hashtag replay. So Matt, like walk us through of your backstory, like how you got started into the space of like entrepreneurship and internet marketing and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back, I started in radio and broadcasting, and I started my career in 2004 in radio. I was on air for several years, and it kind of clicked for me when clients were coming in to record commercials with me, and I would write the commercial, write the spot, edit it, and make really exciting, interesting commercials. And
Yeah.
when they started asking me about websites, like how do I get a website? How do I start ranking in search engines? How do I start doing these things? And that's when I said, all right, well, I'm looking around at, radio. I'm like, is radio really going to be around? Is this really going to be relevant for the next 30 years? Is this a career path for me? And that's when I decided to start creating websites. So in 2004, I made the jump and started developing websites. And one thing just led to another. People wanted apps, people wanted different things created. And every time I had a demand from a client or a potential client, I would go out and learn how to do it and be able to, execute that for clients. And I really stopped working with clients a few years back and just started developing our own technology because
Yeah.
it was something I was really passionate about. So I decided that probably 2015 that we were going to just develop our own technology. And we started kind of weaning off of working with clients. And now we just develop our own technology and as well as e-commerce and try to bridge the gap between e-commerce coaching and kind of that industry, which is basically building and monetizing an audience. So we really found a niche in that, and we create products that fit needs, and we have a lot of people that use our technology.
Okay, that's really interesting out there how you actually had that kind of like idea that okay, like this thing probably not gonna last that much, and I have to like kind of like make that transition into it in order to go for the next level and also for a kind of like long run. Like I love it, love it. So I want to talk about like for example, you created software which is like FriendFilter, and especially when I started in the space, like if you don't know, I'm 22 at the moment, and I call myself part-time student and full-time entrepreneur. That's what I call myself right now. But
Mhm.
when I got into the space, I saw that software and I saw a lot of people, like over 10,000 users, like that is recorded by Chrome, that are using it at the moment as well. So how you actually came up with that idea? Okay, like I'm gonna go and create that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for FriendFilter, we're currently at 85,000 users on the
Wow.
platform. We've, because of COVID and everything, Chrome's extension team actually stopped approving changes in extensions. So each time we had to make a change to our extension, Chrome's team wasn't even working, so we were unable to launch the extension. So we have probably 7 or 8 different variations of our extension that we've pushed live since May of 2019 when we originally went live. So, it says like 10,000 users or whatever.
Yeah.
That's on the latest version of it. And we've had to push so many different versions of our application out. So, it kind of sucks from the standpoint of we had so many great reviews from, so many customers, and we had to lose all those reviews and all of that. But, you just have to roll with the punches and so forth. But how we created the app was in March 1st of 2019, I had 5,000 friends on my Facebook page, and I had over 1,000 friend requests. And I was like, all right, well, I need to get rid of some of these people. And I know the Facebook algorithm. I know how it works. I understand it. I've worked inside the algorithm for many clients, and had massive successes with building huge audiences. I know how the algorithm works. It's based upon when you post, it goes out to 20 people. Based upon how those 20 people engage with your post, it will continue showing your post to another 20 people. How those 20 people engage with your post, it'll show to another 20, and so forth. And so if you post and only 1 or 2 people like or comment or whatever on your post, it will degrade the amount of new people it will show to. So if it shows to 20, the next time around, it'll only show to 10. And then it'll go down to 5, 1, and then 0. That's why sometimes you'll have a post from years ago that gets engagement for some reason, and then it starts, taking off again, and people start taking off again because the Facebook algorithm is built upon engagement, and that's how it decides. So if you're locked in with 5,000 friends, your post might only be going out to say 1,000 of those friends. The other 4,000 people will never even see your posts. So that's the question: how do you unlock that algorithm to start showing the post to people who actually want to see it and free up space on your list? So March 1st, I spent March 1st and part of March 2nd trying to find if there was any software that did this, because I had a need. I needed to solve that need. And it only took me about 48 hours or so to figure out that this doesn't exist. And I reached out to my developers and posed them with a very simple question. Now, if anyone's thinking about getting into software, this is probably the first thing that you need to write down in terms of creating a great software and not wasting money. Is the first thing that you do in development is you find the hardest technology piece, the hardest, most difficult thing that you don't know the answer to, and find out if you can answer that. So my question was, can we extract engagement off of Facebook post using a Chrome extension? That's it. One question. And I posed that to my developers. I have great developers that have been working for me for years. And I posed that to my developers, and I said, can we do this? Can we solve that one thing? I don't need it to have a pretty dashboard. I don't need it to be pretty. I don't need it to even go into a database. Like, just export it to a CSV. Like, just prove this one thing, and what data can we find off of that post? And it took them 48 hours. So I'm talking about maybe $300 for me paying salary, whatever, $300, $400, somewhere in that rate. And it cost me only that much money to answer, yes, this is possible. So I only spent $300, $400 to answer the biggest hurdle of the technology. Then everything else is just build the technology around that and create a great user interface and a great user experience, because if there isn't a user experience, then people won't use it. And then create a nice onboarding process, which, run your free scan. So, it's a very low barrier of entry, and then have a paywall that you're able to paywall and, upgrade to the service. And then the next piece was integrating the affiliate program inside of the technology, where it was one click integrated, and it automatically created people, sharing out with their friends. And therefore, we're up to 84, 85,000. I think we're right bordering 85,000 right now, users on the platform with $0 in advertising. That's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, and I really love it. And I can really relate to so many things that you said at the moment, because like, especially like, first of all, when I started out, I saw your software when I saw people out there like on friend removal and this, and I was like, friend, everyone was talking about FriendFilter, and I
Mhm.
started to use that as well. And later on, built my own Chrome extension and then became a coach. And I don't know if you know Kim Dang. She's a founder of
Mhm.
Group Convert. So I then later on became the coach in her program as well. Being the student first, and then became a coach in her program. So I can relate. It's so many things that people just kind of like not understand to the product market fit and the possible solution to it. So I have a follow-up question alongside that, which we already talked about software and but some people just don't understand that fact out there as well. Like, I want to ask you, what you see is the common mistake. Like, you could list down three main mistakes that people make when they are building and launching their software. Like, so you could list down like three mistakes, narrow it down like that way.
Yeah, the first one is solving your problems, solving the big problems up front, and making sure that there is that market fit and it is something that people want, but solving the technology problem really fast and upfront. That's the first. The second is people trying to create software that's already been mastered. And you mentioned being a part of a group. Some of those groups are out there telling people like go and create the same software as everyone
Yeah.
else. That's probably the number two stupidest thing that you can do in software development, because I've already proven this. I've spent $450,000 on this application in terms of development. And we have things on the back end that people don't even see, people don't even know. And that's the secret to what makes the software work so well is we've built machine learning on the back end. And it's a massive investment. So for somebody to come forward and say like, oh, I'm going to build some app for, $10,000, $15,000
Yeah.
cost out of pocket, $5,000. It's going to be just as good as FriendFilter. Go ahead. I don't care. You can go waste your money. You can go, do that. That's fine with me. But at the end of the day, you would be best off using your time, your efforts, and your energy to create something that doesn't already exist, because it takes the same amount of time to create something that doesn't exist and be massively successful as it does to reverse engineer or attempt to reverse engineer what somebody else built, and therefore try to go to market with something that's already been mastered. So don't do that. I mean, that's a total waste of time and money. And I've gotten caught up in that as well
Yeah.
as a software developer. We spent probably 6 weeks starting to develop a new platform for hosting coaching materials and coaching courses. So we spent about 6 weeks on that. And then I pumped the brakes and I just said, hold on a second. When I started looking at the features and started looking at what we provided, I was like, ClickFunnels, Teachable, Thinkific. I just started listing off every platform. I was like, no, we're not building this. And
Yeah.
I completely stopped the team. We were probably only, $20,000, $25,000 invested between, several developers into developing it. And I just pulled the plug on it and said, we are never, that was probably 2017, 2018. I was like, we are never developing software again that already exists. If our, in another aspect to this is don't say, all right, well, I'm going to take the features from this, features from this, features from this, features from this, combine them into one, and we have a nice, USP, unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
Again, that's a terrible idea. I've had several people reach out to me and say, I want to take Infusionsoft, Calendly, ClickFunnels, and yada, 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 integrate them all into one, and I'm going to revolutionize the world. I'm like, fantastic. Give me $10 million cash, and I'll make sure that that gets developed over the next 2 to 3 years. And then you can go out and market it, and it's going to fall flat because people
Yeah.
don't care.
100%.
People don't care about everything being all in one. People care about things being the best for what they are and something fitting a demand that does not exist. Period. That's it. If you are not focused on that, if you're thinking of how you can integrate this and that or be the Uber of something, you're totally missing the boat. And like I said, in March 1st of 2019, I came up with the concept for the platform for FriendFilter. It took 7 days to decide absolutely we can do this. And by May 19th, May of 2019. So just a couple months later, we built the entire platform, and I recouped my entire investment within 7 days of that platform being live.
Wow.
Zero ad spend. So you tell me, do you go and create something that is in demand that doesn't exist, or do you spend that time going and trying to build APIs and reverse engineer somebody else's technology because you think that you need to be the Uber of, I don't know, name it, right? So that's number two, quite long-winded, but feel very passionately about that, as I feel like people get caught up in that pitfall all too often. And then number three, it's just got to be user experience. The user experience is one of the biggest aspects, and I'd be wrong to not put that on this list of the top three things that people fall into. Absolutely 110% focus on your end user. And I could pull up my screen right now, and you would see that we have zero support tickets. We have zero support tickets. Every day, by the end of the day, we zero out our support tickets. That means that we solve every single problem that exists on our platform within that amount of time. And then we group everything together. We have an admin section that reports on errors based upon different errors that we have. And then that goes to an Amazon bucket. And then from there, we look at the code, and we're able to break down the errors that are happening, quantify the errors, then solve the problems before they even are support tickets. So that being said, in the end, we probably get 15 support tickets a day total. And usually it's like, hey, I don't really understand how to do this. Can you explain a little bit better? And we get 15 support tickets a day. Imagine having tens of thousands of people using your platform every single day and only getting a handful of support tickets every day. That's the difference between developing technology that works and focusing on that end user, and developing something that you're just too focused on money, and you're too focused on making money, which is definitely a pitfall in people that try to get into software, because they see it as a I'm gonna make millions of dollars, I'm gonna be rich and rich and rich. You're not gonna make millions of dollars if you don't focus on your end user.
Wow, that's like a crash course on software itself as well in these 3 points, like really. And like I really agree on the point that you said. People just came up or try to come up with this feature and this feature and this feature, and they're like, okay, like we've plugged it up into one thing, and it's also cheap. Then they came up with an ad. You're canceling this subscription, this and this and this, and you're getting this for cheap, and like it doesn't work at all.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough of an offer, because you're not taking into consideration the person's time on the other side. Like, I have all my technology, I have everything all set up. If you came and said, hey, Matt, with one click, we can, go and do this and this and this and save you money. I think about my time. How much time is it going to take for me to go from that platform to that platform? And my time, I value it at $450 per hour. So if anyone wants to get on the phone with me and talk about their software idea, whatever, that's my hourly rate. However, I value my time based upon anything that I do, except for things with my family, obviously. But everything in business, I value my time based upon that framework. So if you're telling me I have to move Infusionsoft and ClickFunnels and this and Calendly and all these other things, I have to move all those things to this other platform. If that takes me 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, I times that by 450. And if your software is not saving me that every single year, then I'm not going to do it. And more people think exactly like me because they value their time. And the people that you want to work with in terms of software, and as an enterprise software, you want to work with people that value their time, because you don't want somebody that's just coming in and giving you a hard time all the time and creating support tickets and dragging your time out. Again, if something ends up taking my time in terms of customers and so forth, and we're unable to solve the problem, I'll just hit the refund button and say, I'm sorry, we were unable to help you. And, we move on and we move forward. And, if there's something that we can do better, just let us know, and we'll, develop that and make it better. However, at this time, we've exhausted all time as possible, because if you value your time as a software developer and as an entrepreneur, then it absolutely changes the way that you approach business and how successful you're going to be. And at 22, I wish somebody would have told me that, because when I was 22 and I was getting started doing this, I would take a phone call with anybody. Every single day I tried to connect with 10. I read it in some book. It's probably a book in my bookcase somewhere. It was like, connect with 10 people per day, right? And that was their recommendation. have a conversation with 10 potential customers every single day. It will change your world, whatever. And so I was not gating the people that I was talking to. I was talking to 10, usually 9, but let's say 10 out of 10 broke people every single day.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being broke. I've been broke most of my life. However, in business, you need to talk to people that are decision makers, people that will take action, people that will move, and people that have the means to get done what it is that they're talking about. Otherwise, it's just talk and nothing's ever going to get done. Therefore, take calls from 10 people, however, whatever the number is, but make sure it's people that are qualified in order to have that conversation with you. So now up front, I had a message last night and said, hey, Matt, I saw that you can build email servers and you can go and, do this and that. And, like, I heard that from somebody, like, can you help me? And I was like, all right, well, let me understand the scope. So one word, one sentence, let me understand the scope, right? And he messages me and I was like, all right, that's about a $20,000 project. If I did it or if somebody else did it, it would be about that, about $20,000. I don't have the cash right now. Okay. Let me know when you do, and I can help connect you to somebody that can get that done for you. Period. End of story. That conversation took literally like a minute and a half. That was it. And before, like, the 22-year-old Matt would have booked a call, gotten on a call, spent an hour, and not gotten anything done. I would have like answered 5,000 questions on how I do something, yada, yada, yada. But in the end, value your time, because your time is the most valuable thing. Because once you do start making crazy amounts of money, you'll realize time is the only thing you're always trying to buy. I'm trying to buy more time every single day. I buy time by hiring people. I hire people to do a project, and then I look at revenue per head. If I add, a $35,000 or $45,000 a year staff member, and then I make an additional $100,000 to $150,000 per year, then I 3 to 4x that head. Now we're in a good place. I will keep buying time. I will buy time until the end of time, because that's how you scale a business, is with people and scaling heads. So absolutely, like, you have to value your time as an entrepreneur and as a business owner.
Wow. That I really love how you actually, put everything in place for people to understand. And I can, like, personally truly relate to it as well. When I started, I was like 18 and I was like getting in a call with like every single person, like without even qualifying them. And I was like getting in a call with them and I was like, let's talk about it. And later on, when, like, I started to learn with the people who are already successful in the space that, hey, you have to, like, value your time. It's not like, oh, even okay, you can, like, be in a part of a gratitude that, okay, now you're in a better situation where everyone else are at the moment, but it's like not everyone is a good fit to work with you. You have to qualify those people, not like getting in a call with everyone. Like, love
you
it.
can't work with everyone. You can't solve everyone's problems, and you're better off. What we often say is you're better off being a lighthouse than a tugboat, which means you're the lighthouse bringing people in towards you. So be that lighthouse. Don't go out to sea and try to pull them into shore. Like, show them the light, show them where they need to get to, and then have them come to you. So that's probably why I have, several messages every week of people messaging me and saying, Matt, I've been following you for years. I finally got to the place where I'm ready to work with you. If 3 years ago, I would have started trying to work with that person when they weren't ready, I would have burned that relationship. But 100%. Now that they are ready, now, we're able to, do some work together, whether that's buying one of my courses or, taking some advice on how to hire somebody or, whatever the situation is. Now they're at a place where they can actually do it. And, they're not just wasting somebody's time and burning a bridge.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I really love how you actually pull that down and, like, explain to everyone else as well. So I want to talk about the latest, like, software you've built and you posted up on your Facebook as well, which is like FriendFilter. Like, I want to talk about, like, what is it and what it's all about. Like, could you tell us about a little bit of it?
Absolutely. So we launched FriendFilter, and probably the number one thing that has been asked in terms of features is, how do you use this in Facebook groups? And I said, okay, great, because some of the best ideas come from your customers. So listen to your customers, right? So I said, all right, great, fantastic. We spent about a year and a half working on that platform, because if FriendFilter is a 2D, two-dimensional application, GroupFilter is a 4D application, because we have multiple permission levels, and we're not just scanning your posts, we're scanning every member's post that's in there, and then assigning that to the engagement based upon how those other members engage with the post. So we had to build out our database to be 4-dimensional and be able to report on that data. We haven't built all the front end features yet, which again, we launch at 90% good because we understand we'll never be 100% good. 99% is doable, but 100% is you'll never get there. So if in software you're trying to strive for 100% doneness or 100% perfection, you'll fail in life and in business and in everything. So, launch at 90%. And that's what we did this week is we launched at 90% good. So, there are other things that we want to add. We have a full Trello board full of ideas and features, and users are signing up and giving us ideas and features and all of that. So number one thing is listen to your customers. So we listen to our customers. We launched this group filter where group admins are able to manage their group. More importantly, group admins are able to grant permission to their other admins, and we might open it up to moderators, but right now it's like admin level because we don't want like any moderator to be able to sign up and grab access to it. But we built that two-way communication between the group owner, which we call them, and the other admin to grant access, so they're able to run the application, which is really important for people that have groups, big groups that have resources that are managing the group for them, right? So we have a group with 24,000 users on the platform right now, 24,000 members. And the application so far is, about 90% working for it. So we have to fix that other 10%. But, again, our customers understand. I'm not pushing out to our entire customer base right now. I just posted to my Facebook page and said, hey, friends, can you check this out? Which, again, another great reason why you need to go and build your personal Facebook page with people who are influential. And if I told you some of the people, that have already signed up and some of the people that I've transacted with, they're the most influential people in all of entrepreneurship and online marketing per se. So they're all signed up to my software. They're all customers of mine. Why? Because I've built relationships with them over the last 5-6 years. And so I launch something new, all I have to say is like, hey, game changer. I launched this new thing, sign up. And, dozens and dozens of people sign up. They give me awesome feedback, and, they don't waste my time. I don't waste their time. And, I've cultivated a good group of people, and I used FriendFilter to do that. Right. So, how powerful is that? How powerful is a network that you can build on Facebook and just post out and say, hey, I did something new, go and check it out. And literally, that's crazy. Like, we're talking about doing affiliate launches and so forth. And I imagine we'll do, $100,000 days, right? Because you do like a JV launch for something like this, it'll absolutely take off and crush. I've done it before, gonna do it again for a group filter. Point being, I developed a technology that didn't exist. We did the research. We interviewed people. We talked to our customers. We understood what the demand was. We developed it based upon the demand, the bare minimum of what needed to be done. We had to solve some big problems. How do we scan in, 100,000 members of a group without the page timing out? Big problem. We solved the problem. And boom, now we go live and we have affiliates signing up and with massive lists, millions of people on their list. And we're going to do an affiliate launch and, potentially make $100,000, $200,000 in a day from an affiliate launch if we do it right. So that's how software works. And you do the steps correctly. You build the technology. You get the rapport. I've been developing software for 6 years and developing for people and doing some awesome things. And people know that what I develop is done very well. And I've built that rapport in the marketplace. And so when I build a new technology and I launch something, people will take a hard look at it and say, how can I integrate this with my business? And if I have a good product fit, which not all of them are successful. I have some success. I have some unsuccessful softwares that I've launched, that's entrepreneurship, right?
100%.
It happens all the time. And, if you're fearful of failing, then you're never going to succeed because you're never going to do what needs to be done in order to succeed. You're always just going to be fearful of failing. So that said, we launched and we're getting amazing feedback, working out the bugs right now. And then we'll do a product launch and it's going to be amazing. And then I have another software that we're launching in a couple of months. And not even going to talk about it, but you'll see when I launch it, you're going to say, wow, that's incredible. It doesn't exist, right? And you just solved a big problem. And there's a huge market, potentially 100,000 customers that I can add. Our price point's $997 for lifetime access. I expect that we can sell anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 within the next 6 months. You do the math, a couple $1 million in revenue, boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Let's do it again. So, find problems, rinse and repeat. Find a problem that hasn't been solved, like figure out how to develop it and solve the problem for the cheapest, fastest way possible. Then spend the time to create a great user experience and get it online, which for that software, we solved that problem a year ago, right? And we've been working on user experience for a year. So I've spent $150,000 on that platform in salaries for developers, and we have not gone live, obviously, because the user experience wasn't there yet. I looked at the platform. I said, the user experience isn't there. We need to fix it. We fixed it. We did a total redesign of the platform, which was somewhat problematic because some of the features I wanted to bring forward were complex and difficult to achieve, but we nailed it. And now we're just putting the finishing touches on it, starting to put it live. We should be live in September, October, somewhere in that time period. And you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, I don't know why somebody didn't think of this sooner and launch it sooner. But that's the way it works. That's how this gig works. So yeah, those people that are going out there saying, hey, go find somebody to copy, go copy somebody else. Like they're absolutely doing you a service. Like they are the blind, leading you down a path where you're just going to go off a cliff, where you just drop money off a cliff and there it goes. Bye-bye money. Like, I don't care about you. If I cannot make my money back of my initial investment on a platform within 1 month, I am not doing the platform. I'm not working on it because there's absolutely no reason to do it. Right. So I have some home run projects because these are my, $1 million softwares. But I do have something where I would like to, go out and build $1 billion platform and get to that level. But I want to build it myself. I don't want to go and find investors. I want to build it myself. And I estimate that it's going to cost me somewhere in the vicinity of $1 million to build, maybe 1.5. So I want to be able to set aside 1.5 million and say, I'm going to build this in the next year. So that might be 2022, but I just, I want $1 billion. I want $1 billion product. I want to, have $1 billion evaluation for, one of my platforms. And, that's what I would like to get to. So it's a goal, I just, throw out a goal and, we try to go and figure it out. But hopefully in the incoherent rambling that I did over the last 5 minutes, some of that was helpful.
Yeah, 100%. Like I really enjoyed how you actually set everything out there in place. And I hope like a lot of people out there who first like thinking about creating a software, thinking about like building a software and then selling it. Some people who have a software, but they don't have a customers at all. They could absolutely can learn from it. And like, I really love the conversation, Matt, like where people can find about you and everything you have to offer at the moment.
Yeah, I really have not much to offer in terms of, all right, well, come in and, I'll build something for you or, whatever that might be. But you can always go to, mattganzak.com, connect with me on Facebook. I try to post on Facebook regularly and, try to post things that are insightful, helpful, and, for other entrepreneurs. And, if you send me a message, I'll definitely respond back. Just don't say, hey, which, I literally have an inbox full of people just saying hi. Not helpful. Like if I can give you one piece of advice in terms of how to reach out to influential people, message them, applaud them for something that they're doing and be genuine. The way that I did it is I've read every single person's book. So you can see my entire bookcase goes that way. I've read every single person's book that I've reached out to. And I said, hey, I read your book. I really like how you did this. I like how you're doing this. I was wondering if I could get 15 minutes of your time to talk about how we can make some money together. It's it. I've connected with like so many influential people. I can't even name the number of them because I read their book. I took the time to read the book. I took the time to reach out and I said, hey, can we connect for 15 minutes? Specifically, I have a specific agenda for 15 minutes. I don't want to waste your time. And just about every single person has taken that opportunity and taken that call. So, I'm probably not going to take a 15-minute call with you guys. However, if you have a specific question, ask me a specific question. You can message me, whatever, comment on Facebook or ask me a question, whatever. And I will take the time out to answer your question, period, end of story. And I'll help you, guide you in whatever direction that might be, whether it's, how to hire somebody, like how to do, competitive research, how to determine if the software is good, your concept's good, whatever. Like, just message me and I'll give you advice and try to point you in the right direction. And I'll continue to make applications that help you in your entrepreneurial journey, such as, FriendFilter, GroupFilter, and some of the other, products that we have. Another thing, I'll plug my book. I can kind of see it in the corner here. $1 Million Plan. I wrote this book in 2016. I wrote it in 48 hours and published the book.
Wow.
And I did it because I had a guy that was an international bestseller. He had like 10 successful books and so forth. And he said to me, like, hey, Matt, I'll sign this contract with you. Back when, I used to do a lot of client work. I'll sign this contract with you for 60 grand over the next 6 months. But I need to know that you know how to market a book and you know how to put a book live. So I said, wait, a second, wait till Friday. It was like a Monday. I was like, wait till Friday and I'll have something done. I published my book and became a #1 bestseller within, it was like 7 days. And I showed him the book launch. I showed him the funnel that I built. I showed him the whole thing. And he's like, I don't really care. Like, I didn't want to see that. But yeah, that's the most impressive thing that I've ever seen. He ended up spending around $250,000 with me over the next year and a half. And I was able to help him out. And, I was able to take some of those funds and, move them into hiring people and growing my business and doing some amazing things, all based upon launching a book within 1 week, building a sales funnel, building a follow-up course, and all the things that I did with it. But so it's still on Amazon. You can go and grab $1 Million Plan and by me. You can listen to it as well. There's an audiobook. But the point of saying this is, in 2015, 2016, that's when I started this journey. And I wasn't worth $1 million back then. And I'll tell you, I wrote the book that was the exact plan that I executed over the last 5 years. And now I'm on the trajectory of like, all right, what's the $1 billion plan? How are we going to go and make $1 billion? Because you have to set the goals. You have to, you'll read all about the story in the book. Set the goals, define what customer you're serving, how you're going to serve that customer. I talked about e-com, I talked about software and coaching, and execute. And that's exactly what I did. And it's a step-by-step process. I wish I had that book for myself when I was 22 years old, that I could go and read through it and, see how a successful person, of which I wanted to trade places with, was successful 5 years down the road. So I wrote that book personally for my 18-year-old self, to say, this is the book that you should have read when you were 18 years old, instead of wasting time doing the things that I was doing.
Wow, love it. I'm gonna post up all of the resources out there in the comment section down below, and also in the show notes, so you guys can go in and check that out as well. I'm gonna get the copy as well out there.
It's a Kindle and all that stuff, and it's all the cheapest that I can possibly put it. I don't really like to make money on it. I just want to help people the best I can, and it's on Amazon for the least expensive that I can put it out for.
Wow, and I really applaud you for that, like, for writing like book in the like writing and launching the book in a week. It took me 8 months to actually go and like launch my first book, actually. So like, awesome, man. Like, that's awesome. So like, thank you so much, Matt, for your time. First, any last thing that you want to say before we round the show up?
Number one, I hope you took notes, because I was somebody that never took notes. When I was getting started, 2007, I think I took an SEO course, and I thought that I was the smartest guy on the block. I thought that I was, an absolute, just a genius in website development, right? And there was a lot of people around me that I should have sat down and I should have taken notes, and I should have listened, and I should have executed more, and I should have, followed through. And then from 2007 to probably 2014, so I'm talking 7 years, I didn't take notes. I didn't take notes. I didn't listen to other people. I rolled my eyes. I said, hey, whatever, I got this. I don't need
Mm.
that, whatever. I had that attitude. And because of that attitude, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. I missed out on a lot of revenue, and I missed out on a lot of ways that I could have made a lot of money,
Yeah.
through the growth over the last 10, 15 years. So don't have that attitude. Don't think that you know everything. And I go to events all the time, and people come up and talk to me, and they act like they know everything.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, and literally my bank account would say differently, but I don't know everything personally. I don't. And I need to learn, and I need to be a better student, and I need to go get better. And literally, if you can't open up your bank account and show me that you have millions of dollars in your bank account right now, then you need to be doing the same thing. And
Mm.
that's it's probably the worst thing in the entrepreneurial space right now is people are beating on their chest and acting like they're all that, and they're not. And I'm, not at the top of my game. I'm not Richard Branson. I'm not Elon Musk. But I'll tell you what, I figured some things out, and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. And being a great student, taking notes, and being a great student of other entrepreneurs and programs like this, you absolutely have to take notes. You absolutely
Yeah.
have to do the work. You absolutely have to follow through, and you absolutely have to stay consistent, because otherwise you're never going to be successful. You might have a couple pops of wins, but you're going to end up going back to crypto and trying to, win the lottery in crypto by putting $10,000 into a terrible coin and expecting it to go up to tens of millions of dollars. So either you take a path that is tried and proven, or you keep gambling and hoping that you're gonna hit it big one day. Either way, you have to be a good student of what it is that you're doing, or else you're just wasting your time and money.
Wow, wow, that's really good out there. Again, Matt, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was absolute a blast for having you on the show.
Thank you.
And yeah, guys, yeah, thank you so much for watching. We're definitely gonna see you guys in the next episode. Until then.